I've encountered many biases as a woman. It started in high school in the late 60s, early 70s. One of the requirements was home ec, where you learned to sew and cook and do all of that. Shorthand was another requirement that we had to do. The jobs that I was expected to go into were secretary, executive assistant, office manager, teacher. Those were the things that were expected of women at that time.
When I was young, I found myself to be a single mom in the beginning of my career. And I was told when I found out that I was pregnant that it was the end of my career, that I couldn't be a professional and a mom at the same time. And it was devastating to me. I was being told by people that I loved and cared about me that I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice between being a mom or having a career.
I think that as African American women, we have unfortunately and consistently have been receiving an average lower wages than our white male counterparts. And we have also found that there is truly a glass ceiling, a place where we are impeding effective career advancement and salary advancement. And we see that. And especially in corporate America, unfortunately, there is times when there is loneliness and there's isolation because you may be the only one in the room, the only one in the meeting, the only one that is a part of whatever that situation that you have.
I don't want to be looked at as a woman or the little sister. I mean, when I'm in the business and your name is Bozak, they think you're a wife. And so that never mattered to me. You know, if you want to look at me as Greg's wife, Carrie's wife, that's fine. But I am who I am.
I graduated from college in 1985, and I was a young single parent. And so there was a lot of difficulty in doing that. If anybody can recall, in the 80s, it was the age of Murphy Brown, and single working women were going to be the downfall of civilization. And I went to a PTA meeting because I always went to the PTA meetings, wanted to be involved in the life of my child. And I was tired, I had a long day, and then to be confronted by a teacher who said, "Oh, he's in after school care, it's such a long day. Kids should really be home with their parents." It was just such a slap in the face because I was out there trying so hard to make it in the world of work, to be a good parent. And I had showed up, I was present in his life, and then you're telling me that that wasn't enough.
I didn't go to medical school here in the US, so I came in as a medical doctor, but I had to go through the phases of examinations and before I could residency and practices. So I believe I did face a little bit of bias there while I was getting things done. Initially, I had a lot of questions of people wondering, you know, how many female doctors there were, where I came from in Nigeria, and if it was popular, or if any of my parents was or was a doctor, and the reason that I wanted to be that, and wondered where that came from.
One of the main ones has always been being a female. I wasn't able to handle the same tasks as various men throughout my career. The perception was that I wasn't smart enough, or I wasn't able to just handle the task.
Sometimes people have looked on me as, you're a single parent, although I'm married now. But back in the day, it was just shunned if you were not married and you had children. And I remember there was a year when I was struggling. I had 2 small children, and I went to the welfare office. I needed some assistance. And the caseworker there talked really negative, bad to me. I'm walking in and I'm hurt. I'm in need. And I walked into this organization seeking assistance, and this woman didn't even look me in the eye, didn't even acknowledge me. In fact, when I walked in the door, I wasn't even acknowledged. So those are some things that we've had to go through as being a woman, because women, you know, we are complex, beautiful beings, but sometimes it's just very difficult, very hard to adapt and understand why we're treated like this, why are those biases out there.
I spent a long time. I have a 27-year career in corporate America, which was very good to me. Have a lot of really good colleagues from that time. But certainly growing up as a young woman in what at that time was really a male-dominated industry, I really did experience some biases really based on, a lot to do with my age and a lot to do with being female. It was an interesting time. I think I saw and heard a lot of things that maybe had I been a male, I wouldn't have experienced at the time. But I will say that each experience I had taught me a little bit more about how to navigate that stream. Because when you are a human, whether you're male or female, and you have your life goal and you want to get there, you really have to learn how to navigate that.